on recording in case someone slipped out or couldn't join for whatever reason. Then they can have resources to refer to. Okay. I was just saying that your colleagues have done excellently well. And I still see some hands up. I'll take all of them. But just to pick it from there. So it's so easy. It's more of a discussion than something that is overwhelming you. You are carrying it with a big, cloth, kishri kind of. No, it's very simple. One of the problems you're going to look at after the fine revisions we've had on the earlier ones, we've done the free will versus determinism problem. We've done the problem of the concept of a person, and we looked at it from a Kant thought. You see that that discussion will be very helpful when we get to mind-body problem after we do what we are doing now, okay? Then we are now revising and then also helping you to, when I say revising, you would have engaged the content given. So we are cementing it. And then I'm going to help you highlight the key things. What are we doing at the problem of personal identity or the problem of the self? Your colleagues have done very well. I want to take Jessica's own and then build from there. What is the problem itself? The problem says, how do we determine or what is the essential feature? So let's go to that slide immediately. What is the essential feature that makes a person who he or she is distinct from the other person and the same person over time? It's twofold. The problem is two in one. First, what makes me different from you? So Jessica says, what makes Nancy different from Jessica? Not just that, but what also makes Nancy of day one the same as Nancy of Fortinoco plus? You see, what is that thing that sustains my identity? What is that thing that keeps me as the same person? So what establishes sameness over time and what establishes difference? So it's two in one. If it was just what makes me different from Jessica, or what makes me different from Michaela, or what makes me different from Queensta on my screen, then perhaps the bodily view would have been okay, because I have had my own body since I was born, and Jessica has had her own since she was born, and Michaela has had hers, and Isaac has had his. So if it is just a matter of difference, that is what essentially distinguishes Nancy from Jessica. It wouldn't have been too difficult. But there is also the problem of sameness or continuity, which is required for personhood. The reason why you are still looking for the one who killed the minister, the MP, sorry, the member of parliament, years back, we are still looking for that person. Why? Because of the assumption that the person is still the same. So the sameness is assumed. We assume it, that people have something that makes them the same. So the marks that I recorded for Michaela last week or for Hubert last week, I presume that that mark, if today Hubert answers another question, he is the same person that spoke 2 weeks ago that I recorded marks for. So today's own, I go and add it to that person's own. What is the point? Now the question is, what is this essential feature that makes Hubert the same person over time and also what different from Ishmael? I'm just looking at names on my screen, that's all, okay? Hubert is even struggling to come in. When I admit them, you're like, well, they'll be coming, okay? That's the problem. And I think that Jessica does a good job of adding to what her colleagues had done. Now, in answering that question, Michaela told you. So let's go to our screen so that I project alongside. Where is my slide? Yeah. The concept of a person, you saw it, so I can quickly move you. This one, Okra Sun Sum, the characteristics. I think you did a yeoman's job. Should I show you the names I have on my file? I will show you moments just before we go who have answered questions. Vincent Lamte, Gift Chitre, Michael Bauer, Erica Na, Isaac Azibiri, Michaela, Rep, and then Jessica Donko. So far, they have spoken, and I still see hands up of people who want to contribute and help their colleagues and help the class. I see Akwa's hand as well. I was just going to show you the discussion on what? The personal identity. But the slides that has it also had the initial discussion on the concept of a person. If you are doing just a little push, you'll see that this course, you have it easy. So the second half of that slide is what has the question, who am I? And Michaela told you that when I say, who am I? I'm not just asking you to say, I am a human being. We are not looking for what the constitutive members of your being are. That would have been, what am I? Then that would say, I'm a soul living in a body, or I'm a spirit living in I'm a spirit having a soul and living in a body. That would be you talking about the constitutive components of your being. What constitute your being? You see that is what is a person. But when we say who is a person, it's another philosophical question. The earlier one was also a philosophical question. We've seen it. But if I say who is a person, now the concern is what essential feature, essential characteristic make me, who am I, or who I am, distinct from the other person, and also the same over time. It has implications for the law court, for the hospital. When we go and pick your folder at the hospital, the reason why we presume that this information is for you is because of the assumption that you have been the same. But sometimes, there we go, we are going to look at the possible criticisms we can raise against what? The bodily view. The bodily solution says that, oh, why are we stressing ourselves? If you ask me, who am I? In other words, if you ask me what makes me who I am different from Aqua and the same over time, it's just simple. Jessica said that. You have your body and I have mine. So that is what makes you different from me. And the same person, you have had your body all this time. And it is not mine. You have yours and I have mine. You have your BBL and I have my BBL. So that is it. Finito. That is the bodily view. Now the problem with that is the body changes. And somebody's laughing at me over there. The body changes. Oh, the body changes. And so the body can change so drastically. Keep looking on my screen. Let's make it very easy. Then we move to my body problem. Watch. Look at these two people on your screen. The second one, Jata. Hello, the tiger. Is it tiger or something? These two people are the same. It's the same person. See how drastic the changes. What establishes? Yes, sir. You can't see my screen, eh? Please, can you see the screen? Can anyone see it? I want you to see.
Yes, Doc.
No, Doc.
Yes, Doc.
It's okay if you can see.
Doc,
If some can see, don't worry. If some can see, I'm resharing so that those who cannot see, no stress. Let's. So I've stopped sharing and I'm going to reshare for the benefit of those who couldn't see. Please, I have reshared. Give yourself some few minutes and you will see. It's so drastic a change. If we depend on the body, then it means just in case you lost your thumb and you use thumb printing to sign the check, then you are not the one. When you come and we don't have your thumb, and the money is no longer yours. Really? Some will say, oh, when you go to the hospital, the folder, they will use the name. So they will mention whose name is on my screen. Give me a name quickly. Nicholas Kofi. They say Nicholas Kofi. Oh, if it's Nicholas Kofi, it is the name that distinguishes you from me. Essentially, no, that one won't work. Do you know how many Nicholas Kofis are on it? And how many are yet to come? So the name can change, just like the body. It can change so drastically. And so Michaela's example of the ship, which you're reading, told you the text we projected for you, we put on your platform, told you that you can change, just like a ship, you can change the parts. So maybe first you change the hand, you change the hips, then you go and change the hair, then you change the legs. Before long, every physical body left on you is not yours. Yet we will say this is a Queen Star that has changed. That's how we'll say it, like the one on your screen that I hope you can see now. We say, oh, Samuela, sisapao. Samuela, pa, now, she's so different. We won't say that it is not the same person. We would rather say it's the same person, but who has drastically changed. What is it that has remained when your body kept changing to the point of changing everything? We can do brain transplant, heart transplant, and everything. That is why it's a philosophical problem. It doesn't have a straightforward answer. It's a difficulty that we have to negotiate. Okay, so the bodily view seems to be what? Not helpful. Absolutely. Okay, it might have a role to play to an extent. It can help us to an extent. And so we rely on the bodily view when it comes to certain things, but when it comes to other things, we don't. Otherwise, if the person does a plastic surgery and you have put his name as wanted, his face as wanted all over, as soon as he does plastic surgery and his face changes, it means he's no longer the same person. You can't arrest him. But we sometimes we're able to arrest the person, even if he or she has gone to change his face, disguise himself, change the body, what have you. We are still able to say that it is the same person. And this has implications for reincarnation and so on. Because sometimes the body sitting by you, you can hear it at home. In our African setting, it's very common. They say this one, there is grandmapa that has come back. The mannerisms, the person's skill and talent. Maybe grandma was a baker or an artist or a footballer. Had I said grandma couldn't have been a footballer, so chill. I'm talking about the person that you see traces of. And this one also came when Michaela was speaking. That's why I was telling you that the person engaged the content, understood it. So you see that the presentation is flowing. She's giving so many examples as if she's doing tutorials. And it was very good. He says you can see the person demonstrating the abilities, the skills of the one who has died and gone, but the body sitting in front of you seems to have that person's skill. So that you will say that this one, dear, it is grandma who has come back. This one is Asimesi. And I think that I don't know if it was City Campus, but I gave that illustration when I said, Jesus said, Elijah has come already. You're waiting for Elijah to come before the Messiah. But prophecy says Elijah will come again before the Messiah will come. So the people were waiting to see Elijah. And Jesus says, I am the Messiah, I've come. They say, if you were the Messiah, when did Elijah come? The prophet said Elijah will come again before the Messiah. So if Elijah hasn't come, we can't say that you are the Messiah. You see? Jesus said, why? Elijah has come again. You didn't see him. And he tells you explicitly, Elijah was operating in what? John the Baptist. So the person that was existing, the body is different, but the person was Elijah. The body was John the Baptist. Now look at the implications for accountability one day when we go to heaven. Just for those who do Christianity. Okay. I'm just asking, so who will be accountable for the errors that John the Baptist committed, if he committed any at all? When they call in heaven for accountability, they mention the register. John the Baptist, who will come? Is Elijah? Or when they call Elijah, will the two of them come? Or it will be one person? I don't know. But think about it. Personhood. These are just meant to open your mind. Who are you? Are you? Sometimes you tell your friends, Charlie, today I'm not myself. The problem of personal identity is also captured as what? The problem of the self. I, myself. I am not myself. You see, selfhood is the issue. It's a philosophical one. So the bodily view may contribute its quota, but it doesn't solve all the problems because the body can change so drastically. Or sometimes the body has, and I ask you to go and watch a second chance telenovela, those who haven't watched it before. The person whose soul or the non-physical part of him, spirit, so to speak, had left him, he was dying, the body was struggling. The soul leaves, and then at that same time, another person was also going through same, and then there is a swap. The soul of the poor guy enters the body of the rich guy. The soul of the rich guy enters the body of the poor guy. And now they all recovered from their dying. Now, who is living in the poor guy's body? The body is a poor guy, but the person living inside. This is the argument of those who don't agree with the bodily view. They think that our personhood, the essential feature. So there comes the assumption of essentialism that underlies the problem of the self. We assume that there has to be something that remains unchanging, that is substantive to your being a person, which if you take away from that being ceases to be a person. What is that essential characteristic? It can't be the body, says those who are anti-bodily view. Very good. Hey, the class is very well comported now. Good job. Keep it up. Okay. So we will quickly mop up from the beginning to that slide and make sure we didn't leave any stone unturned. This is the question on your screen. Can I have Aqua, you can read this for me. I just see Aqua. If you want to add your first name, then afterwards I'll take Christian Wilson. Aqua, read what is on your screen, please.
Personal identity. All change over time. But please, let me zoom. We all change over time. We all change over time. Yet we also say we remain one and the same person. Question: what makes you the same person from one day to the next?
Excellent. It's scary because if we do body part there, then I don't think your mommy gave birth to you. This body that is sitting there listening to me or standing or hanging on the tree or wherever, listening to me now, is the one that mommy pushed out of a womb. Hey, how would she have pushed you? You have changed so drastically, and yet you are you. There goes Johnny. See Johnny on your screen. Johnny Bravo. See, all these are meant to show you drastic changes. I don't even think these are as drastic as I would have wanted them. But the earlier one with the tiger face is so drastic. And yet he's a person. I could do this read also, and then you can earn your mark. I'll put your name down for class effort. Go ahead. Personal identity, essential and non-essential characteristics.
Personal identity, essential and non-essential characteristics. Essentialism is that view that everything has an essential.
Is that view that
everything has an essence or a set of essential characteristics that makes it what it is. Your essential characteristics makes a crucial contribution to who you are, your identity. Non-essential or accidental characteristics do not make a crucial contribution to your identity.
Very good. So let me ask the class. Is my name an essential character or a non-essential? Is it essay or non-essay? I'm asking the class. My name is non-essay. Non-essay. How about your hair color?
Non-essay.
Non-essay. Oh, it's non-essay. The same as gender. Whether I'm male or female is not essential. Political party. Saturday you are going to vote. People will cry basa from next week. So people will cry basa because of traffic and all the stress around and too much polarized, whatever. You see that we are holding our classes online. When you finish, you have to be an agent or assist something. Do objective, clean work. You have reason to support. It's okay. But when you finish, go inside your room and look for some sobolo and chips and drink and sleep. I've told you, my students. I want you all well and fit. Don't come with your jaw dismantled. Okay? We'll continue. Now, people think political parties are essential. They are not. Nothing is essential to your personhood. I'm not finished though, except something. So what is that thing? That's what we are looking for. Okay. It is never essential. So your ability to determine essential characteristics and how they differ from the non-essential ones is crucial to the question or the problem of the self. Aqua, please, did you finish reading this slide?
So which one?
The one I projected one. Are you done reading it? Yes, I think you are done. Okay, so I've rewarded you with a mark on my file. Now I can take Christian Wilson. Christian, go ahead. Let's look at the first response. Oh, hold on. I want to give you the bodily view now. Uh-huh. Christian,
Good
please read this
morning,
one.
Doc.
Good morning,
Uh,
sir.
Theories of personal identity. Question: what are the essential characters of yourself that makes you the same person you are, different from other people? Body, sectionism, solution, looks, and solutions.
Mm, yeah. So the body criterion and Locke's criterion. Is it okay? Uh-huh. The word is criterion, like criteria. The the how will you determine it? Those who think it is the body that does that. And then there is Locke's own. We call it Locke's criteria or criterion, his method. What does he think we should look at to determine your essential characteristics? Don't forget it. I don't want you to have to go and read it again. If you're going to read again, it's only so you can cement it in your mind. But you have to get the understanding from class. That's why I'm taking time like okay. Now, Christian Wilson said, would you want to read this one too? Just a little? Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
yes, the body criterion. Go ahead.
The body criteria. This view is often attributed to materialists. According to this view, what establishes sameness of a person consists in the sameness of the human body over time. I am this person, I am because I have this body, and you are you because you have a different body. For a person A to be the same person as B, A and B trust have the same body. On this view, we are fundamentally our bodies. That's the essential characters that makes you you and different from others people is
Other
your
people
unique body.
is your unique body. Well done. This is not anything we should stress ourselves over. From Jessica to Michaela to the folks who spoke earlier, all of them, they have highlighted this. Now it is going into our head. We believe that one of the responses given to the mind body problem is the fact that, why do I keep saying the mind body problem? So, the problem of personal identity is that people have their unique bodies. Remember BBL, okay? And we think that that might be problematic because the body changes. And the body can change so drastically that every part of it could change. Nathaniel, you are next. So be on standby. I'll let you read shortly. Okay. The body changes. It's not just the change as in I still have part of myself. Oh, you can totally do transplant. You go and they remove this right arm, then they put a white man's arm or something there. The next one, remove this one, you go and look for uh, Jomo Kenyatta's right arm. I'm trying to be very, very that. Then you go and get this machine and put at your left. Then before you know, you have changed every part of your body, including your brain and your heart. Now, when we see you coming, what will you say? You still go to the office where you are going to sit. We will say, is that Johnny Bravo? Johnny has changed. Wow. Look at the hips. Look at the lips. Look at the jaw. Look at his hair. Totally changed. That's the problem with the body. It can change totally. And yet, we would say that this is Johnny who has so drastically changed. Okay. Sir Nathaniel Lato, please go ahead. Somebody has their ID there. That's why you were supposed to be next. But it's an ID. I don't know how to mention your ID on a recorded session. I don't think it's fair to you to put your name. Nat, go ahead.
Okay. On Locke's account, what makes us the same person over time is not the sameness of the body, but sameness of consciousness.
Everyone write it down. Sameness of consciousness. Michaela mentioned it. That I can think. Remember Descartes, thinking, doubting, affirming, denying. These are all thought processes. It's a state of being, thinking, affirming, denying, consciousness, being conscious. I can't be conscious of yourself for you. Can you realize that? Yeah. I can only be conscious of myself. You can be conscious of yourself. I can't do your consciousness of yourself for you. I can't do your thinking about yourself for you. Take note. We can all be thinking about the interim assessment we are going to write. But we can't all be, I won't be able to do the thinking about the continuous assessment for you. The thinking of it, the continuous process, is done by myself. Even though we may all be thinking about the interim assessment, my thinking of the interim assessment is not your thinking about it. So the state of thought, consciousness, is private. Each person has their own, says John Locke. One of the things that keeps you being you and different from me is that you are conscious of yourself and not only present